Trans girls talking nerdy. Actually, I just call it trans and nerdy this week just because.
Oh well, I'll update mine.
Call it whatever you want. It's your own title.
Yeah. Well, but I gotta trans ladies talking nerdy. If you don't want the ladies tag, I can take that out.
I don't. I told you I'm fine with it.
I know.
I am a robot in the shape of a girl. Okay.
Are you?
I accept she, her. I prefer they, them. It's okay.
Are you part of the Matrix?
No.
No, you're not that kind of robot.
No, I'm in a simulation with you, dork. I'm not a program. I'm a robot.
No, but I like to imagine that some of the robots could probably jack in.
Jack off, maybe.
Hey, oh yeah, they got those robots too. Have you not seen the end of Matrix 3?
Dude,
those arms are capable of more than just.
Is my stream not updating my tags? Oh my god. Okay, there they are.
Oh, you really did restart your stream. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I really did start my stream. Welcome to Trans Ladies Talking Nerdy. You definitely didn't see the first 40 minutes of this because I definitely deleted it because it had no sound on my end. For whatever fucking reason.
You and I different. I will continue.
The one time I don't check. The problem is I normally check.
Yeah, I mean that is pretty bad on your end, you know.
I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I've only been doing this for like 5 years, you know. 4 years.
I've been doing this for like 2 years, and you know how often I check? 0 times.
0 times.
I've checked like when I first started, but then after that,
you need to
like,
apparently. You have to after Windows updates because it disables your ability to use your microphone until you reselect it sometimes. Like that just happened to me.
I look down every now and then at the little audio bars, and if they're moving, that means it's going.
Like usually, all I do is I look over. If I see audio bars before I start, I'm good. But this week I just didn't, and it's kind of annoying.
That's fine.
Kicking
my
myself
audio
for it.
bars are literally directly below my OBS preview.
Same.
Oh, my OBS preview is on the main screen, so I guess maybe that's what's different between you and I.
I think we have the. We're both using OBS, right? Or are you using Streamlabs still?
No, I'm using OBS, but like I have it like the screen that has my camera on it. That is the one that has OBS on it, so I can see everything. Especially for this, it's not like that way when I'm playing a video game, but like when we're just chatting, like I just want to be able to look in through there without having to worry about like looking like this, so I can read chat.
So you're saying I shouldn't be able to look? I shouldn't look left to look at my chat?
No.
Got it.
What
I understand. You're critiquing my
is,
stream. I understand.
It is 100% in front of my face, so it's easier for me to see when it's not working correctly. That being said, I've still missed it a few times.
Keeping gutter-born comment to self about things going straight to your face.
Go ahead and say it.
Nope.
You know you want to.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
I gave you an opportunity.
I know.
I
appreciate it.
So, my friend is starting up a D&D campaign.
Oh.
That I'm gonna be in.
Oh, my D&D game is on the 16th.
Oh, nice. And it sounds like she is going to do it like every Monday from like 6:30 until like 11 o'clock.
Cool.
And I'm like, that is so much D&D. Like right now,
5 hours. That's probably okay. That's about average, I think.
5 hours every week. Currently, I do 5 hours a month.
Yeah, I mean,
one session every month.
The vast majority of D&D games out there are weekly sessions.
That is ridiculous. That is too much.
Apparently, my game is once a month.
I'm already a little tired about this.
Oh, you're just too old, I guess.
I am. Listen, I'm almost 34 years old.
Maybe you're just not good enough to play D&D games.
That could be. I designed this entire
gatekeeping.
character around a voice. Like there is no other. Like he's got no personality outside of his voice.
I designed my character around. Have you seen Lady Hawk?
No. Should I look that up real quick?
Yeah, Matthew Broderick's character is a thief in that. My character is that, but female and halfling.
Lady Hawk.
Yeah, one word with an E at the end. Lady Hawk.
You know what? I put that E on there because I just. All right, so Ethan Hawke's. Is that who you said?
Lady Hawk.
Lady Hawk. But what would you say about Ethan? Whoever?
What? Oh, Matthew Broderick. I said. I never mentioned. I didn't mention Ethan anything. You're frozen for me.
I probably just got it from the Hawk. Let's see.
Your video is
Hawk. That's you.
Your video's frozen for me, buddy. I think your camera died again.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Looks like it did.
Pretty funny face, at least, you know.
1 second. Boop boop.
Boop 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 boop.
Hey, we're back. Okay, so let me see if I can just from Google imaging searching for Lady Hawk. I want to see if I can guess. No, you already said it, but I wasn't paying attention. What your character is? You said it's a tiefling.
Said no, it's a halfling.
Halfling, sorry.
And I said no, it's Matthew Broderick's character. He's a rogue. She's a rogue. So the thing about Matthew Broderick's character is his character escapes from a dungeon simply by squeezing through the bars. He's so small.
He is kind of shrimpy.
I mean, it was one of his earliest movies, so.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he might literally be.
That's
like
before
19.
he hit that person and killed him in Scotland or Ireland. I can't remember which.
Oh, he killed somebody?
In a car accident, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 second. I gotta read up about this. Matthew Broderick.
Broderick, yeah.
Killed someone?
Yeah, hit him in a car.
On August 5th, 1987, while driving a rented BMW 3.
I mean, he was like 25, okay? So it's
in
like...
Enniskillen, Northern Ireland,
Ireland.
crossed into the wrong lane and collided head-on with a Volvo. The driver, who I'm not gonna it doesn't matter, and her mother were both instantly killed. He later, I guess the father later forgave Broderick and made plans to meet him in 2003.
Look, you kill my wife and my daughter, you'll never get my forgiveness. Wow. The best you'll get is shotgun to the face for coming to my house.
He killed 2 people 3 months to the day before I was born. That's ridiculous.
Right?
1987. It was an eventful year.
Yeah, I was 5.
I was at most 2 months old.
5 was a bad year.
5 was a bad year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so sad. I can't remember anything from when I was 5. I'm sorry that it was a bad year for you.
I have lots of trauma memories from 5, so.
Oh, well, we don't have to talk about it then.
My life has been basically very traumatic, but in slightly uncommon ways, and so it's, you know.
Did you do something in a previous life to deserve this?
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, I was a dickhead to my first wife, so, like, what was that?
I swear, because I was looking at my camera, that hat was not there, and then I blinked and it was there, and I was like, oh fuck,
it's been there the whole time. Just so you know. Definitely seen it the whole time, but yeah, you know. It's like please don't lump me in with Caitlyn Jenner. She's a terrible person. She killed someone in her car.
Oh God, Caitlyn Jenner is the worst.
My favorite.
Do you know what she's doing?
No, I have no idea. But my favorite quote she ever made was, "I don't believe in marriage between two women. I believe in traditional marriage because I'm a traditional woman." I was like, "There's nothing traditional about you, ma'am." I hate to tell you. That quote sealed the deal. Like, wow. Okay, what's she doing now? What's Miss Jenner doing at this moment to ruin the fucking lives of some people?
She is throwing her support behind none other than Dave Chappelle.
Oh, I'm sure, because she hates herself. Come on.
She hates trans people.
Oh, she hates trans people, 100%. She does.
She's 100% the kind of trans person who will take advantage of everything that she can and then shut the door right behind her so that no other trans woman ever.
There are very selfish people in this world, and she's one of them.
You know what it is?
And she is. I mean, she's selfish.
She's rich. We need to use her into the sun with Musk. Let's go.
When I say tax the rich, I mean her too.
Oh, I know. Trust me.
It's like, why do you have 5 houses? You now have 1 house. Pick one. You're welcome. Oops.
I was reading.
Don't be rich. The rule of this country is don't be rich. That's what I would say at that point.
A thing where it was like this guy was talking about building a 3,000 square foot house, and I got to thinking, and I'm like,
that's not very big.
3 times the size of my house.
That's not that big though. To be fair, I mean, like, as houses go,
3,000 square foot house.
3,000 square foot's not that big. I mean, not when you consider the mansions that these people usually build.
No, but all I'm saying is
it's a big house, but it's not.
And I really appreciate this number. I live in a 1,234 square foot home. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's fantastic. It's
That's one of my favorite numbers ever. Actually, I look at the clock all the
Nice.
time when it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
So this dude essentially built a 3-story version of my house, and I'm like, that's giant. No one needs that much space.
I mean,
again-
3,000. I don't know, man. I'd take a 3,000-foot square house. I've got a lot of Blu-rays.
This is my Blu-ray floor. There's nothing in here.
No,
but
like,
Blu-rays.
if I-
There's no even TVs.
If
It's
I could
just
get
my
like,
Blu-rays.
honestly, I would love to just have like a 2-bedroom apartment. Have the other second room just be like the computer office / Blu-ray storage.
I mean, that's kind of what this is. So I
Right.
have this room. Like, I realize that we have a lot of space for just 2 people. It's my wife, who is sleeping in that room. There's
Right.
this office, which literally, it's like a small bedroom.
Yeah.
My wife has her own room next door that is just it's taken over by plants. And that like, those are the
Everyone's
3
got their
bedrooms.
hobby rooms. I love it. So you have
Exactly.
3
but, like,
bedrooms though. That's pretty good.
The 2 bedrooms are super small. Like, you could fit maybe a twin bed in here.
Like this room I'm in really is very small too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
hard to tell, but like, I can touch the shelf, I can touch my bed, I can almost touch the bookshelves or the shelves of storage units on the other side of mine. Like it's like I'm in a very small room. It's an 8x10,
Yes.
and the majority of it is this computer section and a wall of boxes. So yeah, I feel you. You get your house built in the '60s.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, they always had small fucking bedrooms. I don't know why.
People were just smaller back in the 60s.
But
They grew
what
a
you're
whole-
describing is about the size of a good-sized apartment in California.
Yeah, I would say that's correct. It's about the size of an
You're in a house, though, right?
Yes.
Wow. Not many people actually.
We got lucky. The reason I
House
have a
in our
house, and if
generation.
you all would like to kill me for doing this, because like I said, kill all the rich.
Ha!
we're
Just
getting,
take the
more
rich.
progressive
Just
as we
take the
go.
money. Just take the money. You don't need to die.
Megan's grandmother died and left us money, and that money is the only reason we were ever able to afford a down payment on a house.
If I got left money, I would probably instantly go to the $348,000 in student loan debt I own. I owe.
What? They can't just write that off for you?
No, it's private loans. I went to private school for almost 10 years.
They can't just write that off for you?
No, government loans are the only ones that what do you call it? When they say forgiveness, when the Democrats talk about loan forgiveness, they talk about only the government ones. The minute you start talking about private loans, like, oh, we don't want to interfere with the predatory nature of the fucking loan industry and how it predates on poor people who are then locked in fucking wage slavery trying to pay it out the rest of their life. Oops. Because those people line the pockets of the politicians. We got real political. We keep getting really political here. My point is, I'll never be able to own a house.
Do you want to go back to talking about movies?
Absolutely.
Okay. I
just watched Evil Dead 2013. Have you seen that one?
I've not seen any Evil Dead movies in my entire life.
I highly recommend Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. They're both funny as hell. And Evil Dead 2 is a remake of Evil Dead 1, so you're not missing anything. So people always argue with me. They're like, no, it's a sequel. Because
I've always heard that it's not a sequel, a remake.
Because what happened, like, there literally is like a 5-second thing, like, we're going back to this cabin, that all this bad shit happened with my last group of friends, and I didn't get arrested for the murder or disappearance. And so I'm bringing more friends to the cabin that's cursed. I'm like, no one would do that. If you went to a cursed cabin, your friends died, you'd probably never go back ever. Ever. You know? But no.
I mean, I would.
2 assumes he goes back and has a second group of adventures with some new people. It's not. It's just a remake. That's all.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard that the first movie did well, and then he actually had real money, so he just remade the movie again how he wanted to make it.
Well, so what happened was they wanted to pick up right from the last one left off, but they didn't have the rights to it 'cause it's from a different company. So they just reshot. They decided to just reshoot all the key scenes.
That is so dumb.
With the new cast. No, it was great, actually.
That is so dumb. I hate that reasoning. That reasoning is
The whole
part
second
of
movie.
everything that's wrong with this world.
That second movie is so good, though. Because the first one, like people are like, oh, like, I just had a discussion with a friend. They're like, oh, yeah, I like Evil Dead. The original Evil Dead, because the remake has, like, no comedy in it. And I was like, well, I mean, like, I'm thinking to myself, but the original Evil Dead.
I have heard that.
But I'm just watched the original Evil Dead. I'm gonna tell you right now, it doesn't have a lot of comedy in it. The Evil Dead 2 is what you're remembering. Everyone who's like, oh, I remember when this happens and that happens. That's all Evil Dead 2. It's almost always Evil Dead 2 they're remembering as Evil Dead 1.
How do you know that though?
Because they describe details that happen in Evil Dead 2, but not in Evil Dead 1, as if they were happening in Evil Dead 1 because it takes place in the same place. It's a remake, partially. Anyway, so many people just don't like your brain crosses wires. You know, memory is admissible in court if you have a good enough lawyer.
Did you know that when you remember something, you don't remember the actual event?
Of course not. You imagine this. You remember the imagined event from your experience.
You remember your last memory of the event.
Yeah.
And then that memory goes away and it gets replaced by the memory of the memory.
Yeah.
It's essentially a giant, thing of telephone.
Yep.
Which is why, like,
memory is inadmissible.
That's why the fish always gets bigger.
Which is why every time it's like, well, I know what happened with my own eyes. I'm sorry to tell you, but memory is very faulty. As someone who has a very exceedingly faulty memory is very faulty.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Discord, cut your voice out.
I know. That's
hilarious.
Fine. That's fine.
So, movie chat.
Oh, we're not talking about Dune. I have opinions on Dune. So
I want to see Dune. We'll talk about it. I just haven't seen it yet.
Well, we'll talk about it.
I've seen the original. No. I've seen the TV series. I've seen Children of Dune. They're all okay. I'm looking forward to this new adaptation with big budget and stuff. Anyway.
I didn't even know they made Children of Dune. Who paid for that? All the other Dune
Sci-Fi
things
Channel.
have flopped horribly.
Sci-Fi Channel did both Dune and Dune, Children of Dune miniseries.
I did hear that the 3-part miniseries was okay.
Yes, they're decent story-wise. Still, quality and like graphics and all that stuff, not so hot, you know.
They're decent story-wise, cause like I'm rereading Dune because of the movie.
I'm not. I don't want to be rude to the other. To the miniseries, but they are shot like fucking stage plays.
It was a stage play. It's a Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah. But my point is
Are there any upcoming movies and bonus points if these are movies that I may have heard of that you were looking forward to?
God, I don't know. Last Night in Soho is the one I'm looking forward to.
Oh, I'm watching. You saw it. I'm watching the Queen's Gambit, which I think it's the same lady in both of them.
Ah, I like the Last Night in Soho because immediately from the trailer I caught some giallo vibes. I'm like, ooh, I love when movies reference giallo.
I don't know what that word means.
Giallo means yellow in Italian. It is named after the yellowed papered mystery novels with the yellow covers that were released for cheap, like pulp novels in Italy.
Okay.
And it's a genre heavily inspired by noir.
But it's different from noir?
Extra gory, nudity, psychosomatic stuff. People like misremembering things or having visions or nightmare logic, things like that.
Yeah.
The tropes of Italian cinema.
Got it.
At play.
Got it. Okay. I have heard of Last Night in Soho, so I will award you a bonus point.
Like I saw *Malignant*, and that's one thing that I picked up on was that there was some heavy giallo influence there.
Really? Because like *Malignant*, I did not enjoy whatsoever.
I fucking loved *Malignant*. It was great.
No, I thought it was one
here's
of
my favorite part of
his worst
filmmaking.
works in a while.
That moment in the custody when the whole movie turns into the other half of the movie. It's the same moment in the original Terminator when Terminator shows up and fucking kills the entire police department. It's so heavily like there's even a moment in *Malignant* when she does the flip through the bars or whatever, which is totally a reference to Terminator 2.
I don't know. I felt like the big character didn't really nothing. She didn't do anything. Just things happened to her the entire movie. And I don't know.
She was a victim. It's kind of interesting, huh? That's a villain. That was also their president was actually driving it, so technically not.
It just didn't do it for me, which is fine.
Yeah.
Most movies aren't going to do it for me. Let's face it.
Yeah, you have I would say a very common taste in film. Not that it's a bad thing; it's just common. And I would say I have a pretty good taste in film when it comes to like deep.
Oh,
depth
you
and
would say
knowledge.
that, wouldn't you? I and all of us other commoners down here would probably disagree with you.
There's nothing wrong with where you stand with your knowledge.
Are you trying to call me out?
There's
for
no
being uneducated and common?
there's no requirement to be educated to enjoy art.
Are you trying to call me an uncultured serf?
No, I in fact specifically said that you're allowed to be those things.
I'm allowed to be poor. I
Yeah.
get how it is.
Well, poor in knowledge, yes. With capitalism requires to be rich. To be fair.
Yeah, but no, I wasn't really just wasn't really a fan of that.
Yeah, I get it. It's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah, it just I've liked a lot of his other movies,
Mhm.
but that one was just like,
Like, you know, I didn't really like Halloween Kills all that much. It was alright.
I haven't seen that one.
Should see Halloween 78, Halloween 2018, and then Halloween Kills. And prepare for Halloween Ends, baby! It misses all the other sequels in the middle, so you don't have to worry about those.
Yeah.
But Halloween Kills, I felt kind of meandered. Felt like it was like leftover bits from the first movie with some tacked on stuff. And it didn't feel... It wasn't great.
Okay.
It was alright. The brutal kills didn't have any of the emotional weight of the first movie or even Rob Zombie's Halloween, which a lot of people crap on, but the best part about Rob Zombie's Halloween duology is its depiction of trauma in the wake of such events. How the characters... the storytelling becomes deeper when you hit the number 2, and you see how these people have reacted having survived the tragic events of Michael Myers' killings. Like, people are fucked up and they're like not well, but they're trying. You know how it is when people have been through some shit. So I mean, like, Annie was like nearly murdered and she survived, and then she gets murdered again. And it's tragic as fuck. It makes me so sad. The thing is that Halloween 2, everyone's like, "Oh, it's terrible. The acting's bad." Like, no, you actually can't say that. Brad Dourif gives a fucking tour de force. He makes you feel his grief as he holds his dead child in a blood-soaked bathroom. Okay? You feel that. And if you don't feel that, I don't know what to tell you. Brad Dourif's an amazing actor, and he made everything in that movie. He was the heart of that movie. Everything else in that movie is fine. Brad Dourif's amazing. The fiction of, like, grief and survival and PTSD and wounded people trying to heal, it's just that stuff he nailed. He absolutely nailed that stuff. So, like, everyone says it's bad, and it's not. It's just not for everybody, and that's fine. Plus, a lot of people say that having only seen the theatrical cut, and the unrated cut adds a whole bunch of stuff and changes things and explains things that seem kind of out of the blue in the theatrical cut, I admit. Anyway. Hello?
Recently rewatched Jumanji, the OG.
Oh man, I love that movie. So
it's one of the
silly.
rare movies.
Did you see the sequel, Zarathustra?
I have not seen the Zathura.
Zathura, yeah. That one's really good too. I like that one. A lot of people crapped on it. It's being like a Jumanji knockoff. I'm like, it's a fucking sequel! It's a fucking thematic sequel!
It was not marketed very well as a sequel of any kind.
Absolutely not. Because they didn't have the rights to Jumanji. It's a different studio. Yeah. That's why.
So,
to be fair.
I find that Jumanji is really interesting in the sole aspect that I feel the remake is just as good as the original.
I think the remake is good in its own ways.
Yeah,
I don't think they're. It's like
I enjoy watching.
It's like apples and oranges. I like to use the same analogy. It's apples and oranges. They're both fruits. You compare their generic shapes. You can compare their tastes and contrast things, but they're different, and you can't necessarily fully ever compare the two because it's like a completely different taste, different texture, different taste, different texture. No.
I'm comparing them, and I'm saying they're just as good as one another. Boom. That's my comparison. But I agree, they are good. They're different movies. They're different takes on kind of what they're going for there.
Right.
But I think they are just both really good versions. Like a lot of times,
I like
will
the I like the
watch.
remake, or I guess it's technically a sequel. It never really takes away the original. It's
That's
its
true.
own.
The
It's
reboot, whatever you
yeah,
want to
it's its
call it.
own movie.
That's
Maybe
very
it's in the
fair.
same universe. I don't fucking know. I haven't seen the sequel. I need to see the sequel.
I
But I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I know that I've seen some remakes, and like then I'll go back and watch the original, and like the original will just like suck, and I'm like, why did this get a remake?
Yeah.
Like in the
Exactly.
first place. But then like the remake will be okay, or vice versa. A lot of times, vice versa.
For
Uh,
me, it's always like for a lot of times, like say Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm
mhm.
Street misses the mark because it misses the core of the movie. It takes away all the humor and goes real serious, and then makes things that were alluded to as like actual text in the film instead of being subtextual about it. And so it's just like it's like a beat you over the head movie. Here's all your favorite moments from the first four movies. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Also, the only good part is fucking Freddy Krueger himself, the actor. He's amazing. He wanted to do the comedy, but they wouldn't let him be comedic at all. And so I think he should get a redo, but being like the actual Freddy with the humor, the jokes, and
uh,
the murders
it's
based on those
probably
things.
my least favorite of like the big horror movie franchises.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that first movie, and then 3, 4, and 5. Second one's okay. Everything after
I
5 is
feel
meh.
I just feel like the first movie's okay, and then after that, the camp level is just too high for me. And like, I enjoy
Um,
camp. Like,
so the reason it's so campy is it's a response to the slasher boom at the time. There was a glut of slashers. That's why it's campy. Just saying. And the first movie
that's
is
fine.
also campy, just less so. Campy, I hate that
I
phrase.
just,
It's not campy.
I don't know.
It's
It just
humorous.
doesn't do it for me.
It's not campy. It's humorous. To be fair, that campy's the wrong word. Camp is
I think campy is the correct word.
camp is not what that is because nothing in that is intentionally bad. It's all good stuff. It's all silly stuff.
Does campy
Intentional humor.
need to be intentionally bad?
No, campy is not just doesn't just mean funny. Camp is a fucking art movement. It's just something
Is it,
being
though?
yes. Google it, Wikipedia it.
I will. I will. I'm doing it right now.
There's more. It's not just humor. It's the kind of humor, the way the humor is presented, what the humor is saying that makes something camp.
What then? Like, give me a good example of a camping movie, because I am.
Plan 9 from Outer Space. It's not humorous in the traditional way, but it's humorous in the wrong in the ways that aren't traditional and aren't normal. The Room, Miami Connection, Samurai Cop, Troll 2, Ninja Busters, Final Score. I cannot go on. There's Tiptoes, Vibrations, Adventures of Pluto Nash. There's like a whole bunch of them.
But do you think that something can become campy just by becoming out of date?
No,
Why?
because you have to consider the time and place the film was created in when considering.
Oh yeah, see,
Things like
yeah, I
that.
forget that you're about that. I'm not about that, so that's fine. Okay.
An ironic appreciation that might otherwise be considered outlandish or corny. That's the camp style, as an example. Okay, is an
Yeah, so
aesthetic
I got
style
the
and sensibility
Marion-
that regards something as appealing because it is of its bad taste and ironic value. So
According to Merriam-Webster, the one I got, something so outrageously artificial, affected, inappropriate, or out of date as to be considered amusing.
I like this better. Camp is an aesthetic style and a sensibility that regards something as appealing because of its bad taste and ironic value. Okay? So that is not Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street is intentionally funny and is very well successful at it. What isn't intentionally funny is, I don't know, pick a really bad movie. Like, that's probably not supposed to be funny, but if you get the right audience, everyone's going to start laughing at it, making jokes. That's camp. That's what I said. Plan 9 from Outer Space, Miami Cop, Miami Connection, Samurai Cop. Mix those two up. That's great. I have like a million movies. Like this
Okay.
camp. What I like to call it nanar.
Yeah, I'm never gonna remember what that
Nanar is
so.
a French film. The French word that has no English translation. It's basically something that's funny, but not in the ways it's intended to be. Something that's funny, but not necessarily intended to be so. So basically, so bad it's good, which is what I hate that term because I hate calling good art that you. I hate calling art that you enjoy bad or shit or bad movies because it's not bad if you enjoyed it. Is it? Is it really? It's not.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Things can be bad and you can enjoy it.
No. That no. If you enjoyed it, it's not bad. Period.
And I disagree with that.
That's because you're a very basic ass film watcher, like I said.
No, I'm talking about anything. I'm talking about anything. Like anything. Like just because you like it does not make it a good thing.
No, it's something that you like. It means it's good. If you like something that's not bad.
And I'm gonna disagree with that.
I mean, we're not talking about fucking like hate crimes or anything. We're talking about fucking art.
Why not?
We're talking about art.
Bad.
If you like a piece of art for whatever reason, it is good. It is good to you. Art is very specifically different for each person. So if you think it's good, it is good. That's how it works. And it shouldn't be. You shouldn't consider it bad. You shouldn't ridicule the art that you enjoy, even if it's not, say, traditionally good, as I like to rather say.
You don't ever ridicule any of the art that you love?
Well, I make fun of, but not in the same way. There's a loving riff, and then there's a shitting on.
Yeah.
I don't shit on things.
Okay.
I never shit on things. So consider, like, how would I feel if I made a movie and someone did that to me? I probably wouldn't like it.
No, but I think that comes with
and
it.
what,
I feel like there's always
what good comes from breeding negative energy? What good?
Oh, I'm not saying you should.
That's what I'm saying. For me, it's a conscious act to do good in the universe. I enjoy the art I enjoy. I like it because it's fun and enjoyable, regardless of the reason why it's those things, you know?
Like, part of the reason that there's a downvote on YouTube is because people love giving opinions about stuff.
I would take all that shit away. It doesn't matter if you like it.
That's fair.
It doesn't matter if you hate it.
That's fine.
In fact, if you hate it, I don't care. I just want. I literally. When I seek reviews, I ignore bad reviews. Look at good reviews first. First, I look at the good reviews.
Why though?
Because I want to see what people love about the movie. To me, what attracts myself to the movie often is what people love about it.
Yeah.
And then when you see what people hate about it, all the times I'm just like, well, most of the time I'm just like, this movie just wasn't for this person. It was not that it's a bad movie. They had a bad experience. There's no such thing as bad movies. There's only bad experiences. Because art is subjective.
But then that makes everything subjectively bad.
Or
and
good.
Subjectively good.
Or, it's an and/or clause. Do you enjoy it? Then it's good. For you.
I can enjoy something and it be bad.
That's still a good movie.
I have no qualms about that.
Still a good movie. If you enjoyed it, then what's bad about it?
No.
If it's good, what's bad about it? Explain.
Okay, I'm not going to, but for example, Dune, it's a good movie, but it's bad.
Interesting.
I think a lot of movies are like that. It's kind of like especially for like a lot of musicians, I'm like, yeah, this is good music, but you know what? It fucking sucks. Like I'm like, I recognize that in a traditional sense, this is good.
But what
music.
value does that bring to you?
Absolutely none.
Then why recognize the negative at all?
Because
what good did it give you? What good did it do for you? If it does nothing,
it lets me view other things that, like, if someone says, "Oh, it's like this person," I can be like, "Okay, so that's not gonna be for me then."
Okay.
And that helps me in the future.
Breeding negative thoughts in your brain will just make you think negative thoughts about things. That's how I always.
Oh, listen,
you're planting seeds. You're planting seeds for negativity for yourself. It makes it so you are probably less likely to enjoy certain things. You probably literally take the legs out of your own self with expectations.
But everyone has expectations.
No,
I know you say that you never go into a movie with
because
expectations.
I just go and
But, like,
experience the movie. I don't know what to fucking expect.
like, if you go and watch like the next Jurassic World movie,
Yeah,
and it's just
I'll probably like it.
4.5 hours of Teletubbies, would you be like, oh, I wasn't expecting any dinosaurs in a movie called Jurassic World?
No, I didn't know what to expect. Watching that, I would say based on that title, I would probably give it a downvote because it wasn't
Like,
with the
that's what I'm
title.
saying, like,
But
there's
look, it's called
nothing-
Jurassic World. All it has to have is dinosaurs in it. So if it's because
Yeah,
it's Jurassic
exactly.
World.
That's
That's
all
it.
it needs.
That's all it needs. Doesn't matter what else happens in it. Dinosaurs
But
gotta
I
be.
actually like it a
If
lot more
dinosaurs
if
start
there's
shooting
fewer
space
people.
lasers and riding rockets, I don't give a fuck.
Yes,
But
that's what I'm talking about.
my
That's
point
what I
is,
need, actually.
That's not bad. That's a good movie if I enjoyed it. And I would say 90%, like a high 90% of blockbusters are just all right, pretty good.
Yeah,
They're not bad. They're not
like,
sucky.
you know what?
People will
for
crap on
instance-
them like it's actually all right.
I like Transformers 3.
That's
It's a
the
bad
best
movie. There's
that's-
not one redeeming quality about that
See, actually, that's the one Transformers movie I like from Michael Bay's series, and because if you would
movie. You're the first person I've heard.
because if
say
you
that.
would have renamed it, me and my friends have some thoughts on this. If you would have renamed it Space Robot War from Space, I probably would have given it like 10 stars, because it was really fucking fun. It was a bunch of cool explosions, some cool characters, but like, it was also over complex designs. It was Transformers branded. It was nothing like my childhood, but it wasn't a bad sci-fi action movie. So I gave it a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, something like that, which is the average rating for a movie. A movie for me starts at a 5 or a 6 out of 10, right? And as it goes on, like, ooh, it's a bad writing. There goes a star. This is bad
No,
directing.
that's good. That's how like 5 should be the average. I agree with that.
5 or 6. It depends, you know.
No, I think 5. Should
Five
always be
is 5 is average, and I kind of didn't like it. 6 is average, and I liked it. That's like that, because 5 and 6 are in the middle of 10. Because you think about whole numbers, 1, 2, 3. You have 4 numbers.
You start at 1. Okay, if you're starting
Yes.
at 1, that's fair.
They can't give 0 stars. It has to earn a star. 0 stars is a cop out.
0 stars, I don't think it's a cop out.
It
But
is
I
a cop out.
think
If you can't put 1 star, what's the point? What's the point of
Exactly.
reviewing? If you can't put a 1
Exactly.
star review, just 0 stars is a shitty thing. It doesn't make no difference.
I think 0 stars.
Do you think there's
is
Do you think there's appreciable value between 0 stars and 1? Do you think there is?
Yes.
No, there's not.
I think a 0-star film would be a film that literally no one should watch ever. A 1-star?
I don't
to
say
me, it's got
outside of hate propaganda. I don't think anyone should be arbiter of who what should say. So,
well, that's what I'm saying. Though.
but no. I just won't review that. It's not the same thing. I won't give it 0 stars.
0-star
No,
film.
0 stars doesn't exist. You got to give it 1 or 10, 1 to 10.
I just feel like if you can't give it an
1
absolute
or
0,
10.
you can't give it an absolute 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So like nothing can ever get a 10, nothing can ever get a 0. To
That
which
is
point,
the
I'm like, why
silliest
do you
thing I've ever
have-
heard.
Why?
There's no appreciable value between 1 star and 0.
There's
No one-
appreciable
if you
value
give-
between a 9 and a 10.
There is. A 9's a really great movie, and a 10 is like a masterpiece. Those are such a fine line.
Exactly. And we've already decided what the difference between a 0 movie and a 1 movie is. To me, it's no different. There's no difference between a 0 and a 1 than there is between a 5 and a
See,
6.
you have to watch the Hateful Rhetoric movie to have to do something like that, but I don't. I did avoid it.
That's fair. And
The other
you
thing
should
is,
avoid it.
I absolutely throw away my expectations when I see a movie. It takes a lot of
And
work,
I don't.
and
I
it
just-
took
I
a lot
can't
of
do
work
that.
and a lot of conscious effort, and I still slip up sometimes. You know,
I just
The Meg disappointed me. I like The Meg, but The Meg disappointed me because I've read those books. It could have been so good. They left out my favorite scene. They
Yeah.
took a big chunk of the second book and just shoved it in there arbitrarily for the first 15 minutes, and it's gone. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, things like that. But it wasn't a bad movie. I can't give it a bad rating. I'm not gonna give it a bad rating just 'cause I didn't like it. I think it's an okay piece of art. Like, I didn't hate it.
I feel
you
like
know,
that is different than not going in with expectations. I feel like that's you looking at art objectively.
specifically, there's no objective view of art. There's only subjective view of art. Once you figure that out,
You just said that you can't base it off of your expectations, but
yes,
if
because I
you
go in
base it off of
empty.
your expectations, that's subjective.
No.
Which is fine.
You can literally go in without expectation and still take a subjective view, because any view of art that you have is clouded or tinted or whatever of your view. Therefore, there's no subjective view of art. There's only no objective.
Like it, but you still rated it good.
Yes, I didn't enjoy because it was a 5. Because it was a 5. So that's the difference between a 5 out of 10 and a 6 out of 10. It's good, but I didn't really like it. It's 5 out of 10 and below, or like I didn't really like it spectrum.
That's fine.
If I gave your star, if I gave your movie 1 star, I really hated it. I don't do it a lot often.
To me, there's no difference between a 2 and a 1 and a 1 and a 0. Like those are equal stepping stones.
I actually genuinely like watching some 2-star movies. They're pretty hilarious when you watch with people. But like 1-star movies are, I don't necessarily avoid them because you can't truly enjoy 5-star without 1 star, or 10-star without 1 star for that matter.
Yeah, maybe.
Because the juxtaposition. If you only imbibe high quality, then you have no idea that's high quality, because it's just every day.
You think so?
Absolutely.
That's
I believe watching bad movies every now and then reminds us and resets us to no expectations, because we remember throwing your expectations, like I said, it's practice. It's hard to do. And as a reviewer, sometimes you fuck up, okay? Which is why I'm not a professional reviewer. And I don't believe people should put a value to something they didn't finish. So I really hate when people review movies. Oh, I didn't finish this movie. 1 star. I'm like, your review is worthless to me, because there are so many movies, and I mean so many movies that were like groan-inducing until the last 15 minutes, and all the hilarious shit happened, and it was worth it. It's worth the trip. Because you can't enjoy that part without the rest of it having all the context, you know.
Automatically, like, that's going down 2 or 3 stars. Like, if I have to sit for 2 hours to get 15 minutes worth of enjoyment, that's not worth it.
For me, that's a 2-star movie right there. Yeah, one that has a great fucking ending, or something that's really funny about it, but the rest of it's kind of a slog, you know.
To me, that is akin of buying a CD, and I'm dating myself with this analogy. Buying a CD for 1 song.
How?
Because you're like, oh, I really love this 1 song, and then you listen.
Oh, you mean I really like this one part? Right.
Yes.
You know, it's hilarious. We've all done that. We've all done that, right? Then we listen. When we listen to one track,
How Bizarre just for that
fucking
song.
love that song. But
I do too.
Here's the thing, you buy that, and then you get bored of that song after a while, and you just kind of venture through the CD, and then suddenly you start liking another song, and you start liking another song. If you actually, it's interesting if you actually force yourself to listen to things that are like, stuff you wouldn't necessarily listen, you actually start liking some of this. You find things to like about it. It's interesting. But like I said, I don't think anyone can truly feel the joy of having a transcendent film experience unless you've had one where it was a chore. Because now you know what this could have been, and you appreciate that peak so much more, because you have to get all the way to that valley. And I don't say you should intentionally, but you should gamble on movies that might be bad. And if they're bad, you just sit through them, because you never know. That CGI shark moment at the end could just have you and your wife rolling out of your chairs, laughing, and it was totally worth the trip, because it was hardest laughed at a movie in a long ass time, and that's why that's why I never turn off a movie ever.
Oh, I have no problems turning off movies.
I know you do. I turn off a few, but I don't review. If I turn off a review, I don't give you a review.
Like if you
ask me an opinion of a movie I've turned off, I'll just say I don't know, I turned it off. I can't give you any information. Could be awesome at the end. Could have just been a boring front and awesome at the end. It happens all the time.
Yeah,
like, but I couldn't make the slog.
I feel like a good movie should be like a good book, where it doesn't have to be action, explosion, or anything like that. But if you haven't hooked me from the first like 10-15 minutes, I'm probably not going to enjoy your movie. Any movie that takes more than 15 minutes for me to even be like, why is this a movie? Why am I watching this? No. Something about it's got to be like that.
You miss out on some amazing.
Even Blade Runner.
You miss out on
like get me hooked with its style in the first 15 minutes.
Doing that, you miss out on some truly profound cinema.
I don't turn them all off, but I'm like I can feel myself tune out, because I'm like at that point I feel like the movie starts playing with itself if it's taking longer than that.
I feel like I shouldn't dictate how artists make their art, and sometimes meditative art is exactly what the artist intended to make, whether you wanted to watch that night or not.
Listen,
So
that's fine.
I also try to consider my state of mind and my mood when I rate things. If I'm in a really agitated mood and the movie sucked, I might rate it really poorly. And then in a few years, I look at that movie and I go, you know, a lot of people like this thing. I should probably give it another try. And sometimes I like that movie. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's still like, no, I didn't like it. But like I said, I don't like calling things bad because if you like them, you like them. And if I like a movie and you called it shit, I would be upset because like you're insulting me.
No.
You're insulting me, and that's you are. It's why like you don't say like there is a way better, more constructive way to express your opinion about the film than saying it was shit or bad. Is my point.
Okay.
And
I would do that
not being
you,
expressive,
yeah.
not being expressive can hurt people's feelings that you don't intend to hurt. And so
Okay.
think about it like that. Like, okay, how would I say this less harsh? You know, I don't know.
Have less
That's just
harsh
that's
words
just
with
my
some
view of
movies.
it. That's just my view
That's
of it.
fine.
You know.
And I know that I've got a very commoner perspective of it. So.
You'd have I would say a very common view of film. Yeah, I know a lot. I'm sure a lot of people. I know several people that like are like that, and they'll turn out the movie they don't like it, or they call things shit and bad. And like it's fine. I'm not policing your like, but I'm trying to make you understand my viewpoint. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine.
Not trying to change your viewpoint. Just trying to make you understand where I'm coming from. That's
No,
why I
yeah,
say
I think
art has no objective view. Because there's no. How do you define what is objectively good art? Because you
it's
might
super
think
simple. You come up with a rubric and you say, "Hey, a 9 stars this,
no, because
6
if
stars
you
this, 3
might
stars
give it a
this."
1 star and I'll give it a 9 stars, who's right?
Oh, so they also have this thing, and I forget what it's called, but they do it for like AP testing, where like you have to read all the people who have to read all like the AP exams.
Okay.
They will literally sit before they begin. They read a bunch of stories or a bunch of essays, and they all need to come up with approximately the same score. And if they don't, they either need to correct or they kick that person out who's grading. So that's how you do it.
No.
Yep.
Because how do you judge what's good or bad? Because
my
hold on, but my 9 star is your 1 star.
Yeah, I know.
And
so
if everybody chose
a
different value for that, for the movie,
yeah,
and there's no consensus, who's actually wrong? There's no one who's wrong.
probably-
That's why I say art is subjective and never objective because it's not data. It's not a fucking grade. It is a creative thing from someone's heart and soul, whether you agree with that heart and soul or not. Okay? It's not like a history test. It's not like something you can test on or grade. It's a piece of art. It's trying to speak to you in some manner. Whether it's successful or not is up to you and only you because it's trying to speak to you at that moment.
Okay.
We may seek other people's reviews to try to gauge how we might like a movie. Like I have several people I follow on Letterboxd. I say this all the time. That I just because they have a specific taste that's very similar to mine, and I can kind of judge if I'm gonna like a movie before I watch it. I mean, I still watch movies that they rate badly because we're different people. I like plenty of movies that they've rated highly or badly, and vice versa for me. So, I don't know. Art is subjective, and there's no way to make an objective view of it.
Yeah, 100%. Art is subjective, but like, I feel like anyone who, when you do rate it, no matter what you rate it, I feel like you were trying to put an objective score on it.
No, it's subjective because it's your personal opinion.
Because otherwise,
no, it's your personal opinion.
Give it a score.
Except, and some people don't. But it's not an objective opinion. It's a subjective opinion because it's coming from you, the writer, the person.
Everything's coming from you.
Correct. Objectivity is very hard to come by, which is why you can't do it with art because it's subjective entirely based on taste, and everyone's taste is different, and humor is different.
This is true.
And beauty is different, and all of this is different. What's not different is data and science and that shit you can have objective views about because there's something concrete that you can point to, like this is the truth. You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
believe that anymore. I have seen the 2020 election. That is not the
Ha!
truth whatsoever.
Yeah, okay. Elections might still be a problem. But yeah, I don't believe there is an objective way to grade films because it's entirely subjective.
I think every review is subjective.
But this is why I also don't like 0 stars because one, it serves no purpose, any more purpose than a 1 star. There's no appreciable difference between pain and slightly less awful pain. You know, I just. I don't know.
I will disagree. Like, there's a small disagreement that I blew up more than it needed to be.
1 out of 10. I mean, 1 out of 10 is I think. See, 1 out of 5, I think is not flexible enough. Because when you get, then okay, so I have a bunch of 4 out of 5 star movies. Which one's better out of those? Well, if you go to 10, you have less conflicts with that.
Yes, this is true.
And you can get more refined.
Conflicts.
I mean, like if I was really anal, and I used to do this with rate the movie on 100 scale, so you can get like 1 out of 100%, like grade it.
Yeah.
And then like that's, but I don't know. I could go back to that, but and it's harder to convert on Letterboxd.
Yeah, no, I think a 10 scale is fine. I just think a 0 star. I would include a 0 star in mine.
Then that's 11 numbers. Your middle number is then 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
5 is perfectly.
But I'm 10 stars, so it's middle number's 5, 6. And I don't do half stars. Cause it's like, don't be a coward. Choose one.
Yeah, I am. I'm choosing the 0.
I use half stars on Letterboxd because they represent a half star on Letterboxd is 1 star in my rating system because they do 5 stars. So they do. So it's an easy conversion. You look at a 3.5 star movie, and you're like, it's a 7 star. That's pretty decent. You know.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah, there's plenty of art that people were like, "This is amazing," and I'm just like, I don't get it, and I'm not wrong, and they shouldn't be wrong.
But then I can also say that a movie it's a good movie, but it's also terrible, and vice versa. I can say that I like this movie, but it's a terrible movie, and that's subjective. So I'm gonna let.
I guess, but what does it serve by saying it's terrible if you liked it?
Oh, I like when I say that it's terrible. Like it means something very specific.
But I'm saying, what does that gain you by saying it's terrible, and then also saying you like it? You counteract yourself there. You kind of cancel out any goodwill you might put into the universe with it. Yeah.
Nah.
Words matter. We know this.
Words don't matter. I'm kidding. They definitely matter.
But yeah, that's just my view of it. That's all.
No, and that's totally fair, and I think it's actually a very good view.
Fully
I'm
understand?
Playing devil's advocate, so.
Do I fully understand that I have an idiosyncratic view of art? Yes, and I'm perfectly okay with that. Just years of schooling, years of movie watching, years of talking about movies with lots of different people from different strata of both the social and economic and just different countries, and it's all wildly different.
It is. You would be very proud of me, though. Because I go into movies with expectations, because I think that's better. But regardless,
Troll.
Yeah, 100%. I did not multitask. I watched the majority of Dune.
The majority.
I multitasked during a little bit of it, but I did that for you.
Of Dune. I haven't seen it yet.
I know. No. But I'm just
my
saying,
favorite review was someone from.
I was like, I know this is going to be a hard sell for me because I know what kind of book Dune is because I've read it in the past, and I know what kind of movies this director has made in the past. I know that combining those two is gonna be a hard sell for me.
Hey, at least it wasn't Yathos Largmos, however you say his name, the Killing the Sacred Deer guy. Could have been him.
Oh my God. Exactly.
Can you imagine
the beautiful? The end of it.
Can you imagine the beautiful meditative piece Dune would be if that guy fucking directed it? And also there'd be some incest.
It's already long enough.
People turning into animals and like blood being spat at each other. It's such a weird movie. You need to see Dogtooth.
Okay. At some point, I'm sure
you'll hate it. I think you'll finally agree that Killing a Secret Deer isn't the worst movie ever. I think of his movies, I think you would probably like The Lobster to some degree.
Yeah.
It's probably
I've
his
heard
most
good things about The
successful film.
Lobster.
It's his most successful film. It's very weird, but it's like not incomprehensibly weird like some of his other movies are.
Yeah.
Dogtooth is very, very strange.
And I don't think I have anything necessarily against Strange, but like I feel
It's
like when you're strange for Strange's sake, I'm like maybe
it's
calm it
it's
down a
not.
little bit.
It's technically a strange indictment on the French, like society basically, and like,
Okay.
and it has commentary about wealth and incest and family and these kind of like is that right? Like dried up families. They're like stale
Yeah.
families, you know?
Yeah.
They're all like this, like a lot of incest, a lot of royal lines. So it's kind of like commentary on that stuff, at least from my perspective. Once again, my favorite thing about film theory is if you watch the movie and you can draw like examples or source from the movie, any theory you make about the movie is in fact a valid theory. Because your reading of art is different from my reading of art. So.
I'm also forgive the troll that I've been for the last hour. I do apologize for it. But I'm trying to like gear myself up to troll my friend this weekend.
Okay.
Because I just finished Avatar: The Last Airbender.
The series or the movie?
The series.
I need to watch
the movie.
I want to watch the movie first. I want to watch it devoid so I can see how bad of a movie it is, just as a movie. And then I want to watch the series and go, wow, they fucked it all up, you know? Like
that's what I'm doing with Cowboy Bebop. I'm watching the live action before I watch the
anime. Cowboy Bebop came out when I was in, like, right out of high school. Around there, right? And so it's like, I just saw in that trailer a whole bunch of recreated scenes from my childhood. And I'm like, it gave me nostalgia vibes, but also...
I'm excited for the
series. Is it just a fucking shot-for-shot remake of the animated series, or are we getting something... I'm hoping we get, like, some original stories in there or something. And I'm a little iffy about John Cho. Is that his name? As Spike. Like, I like the actor. I don't know if I would have chose him as the actor. But it is what it is.
And I don't know anything about Spike, so I'm like, let's go.
I mean, it's not like he's not acting any different from the cartoon. Animated. Well, I mean, animes are cartoons. It's not any different from the Cowboy Bebop cartoon, but like, it's
Whenever I talk about Cowboy Bebop on Twitter, I always start as someone who has never seen Cowboy Bebop, blank, and I kind of want to start every single one of my tweets like that, even though I'm not talking about Cowboy Bebop. As someone who's not, seen Cowboy Bebop, I'm having a really off day.
So, my thing is, like, I see the Cowboy Bebop trailer, and it's basically fan service. It feels like fan film to some degree.
Felt like fan service,
but that doesn't necessarily. I saw both. It doesn't necessarily mean it all feels like fan service. It doesn't necessarily mean the series won't be good and that they won't have like unique stories or an interesting twist or whatever. Like, and I'm interested in watching it because why not? I really, really deeply love the first series, the original series.
Yeah,
it's good.
So
I recommend the anime hard. And the movie, they did a animated movie also.
Oh, nice. So I finished Avatar, and my friend really likes Avatar, but he really hates Korra.
Oh,
and I haven't seen Korra yet.
Which is the one with lesbians? That's
Korra.
No, I say that. Which one was the lesbian with the blue arrow on her head? And that's the other guy, isn't it? The guy from On or whatever from the first series.
Aang has of the blue arrow on his
head.
Yeah,
so I said, what's that
Avatar.
anime with the lesbian with the blue arrow on his head? I'm making fun of the fact. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
He just looks like a lesbian. I know. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of does.
She put a fucking tattoo of the blue arrow on her head like that. It's amazing. She looks good. Don't get me wrong. It's just like So now I just call him the lesbian with the blue arrow on his head.
He says that Korra's characters are very two-dimensional, and so like I finished Avatar and I really liked it, but I'm also like, you know what, I can make every character in Avatar two-dimensional as well, and I kind of want to I can't wait to just troll him a little bit because listen, there are stereotypes and I'm gonna slot them into every single one of them.
Do you have a goblin deck that you like playing?
No, I don't have a goblin deck.
Because you strike me as a very goblin-y person.
Okay, here's the thing. I have two kinds of decks.
You have goblin mischief, you know? Because the way you're like, I want to troll my friend, which is a very goblin mischiefy thing to do.
I have, semi-serious competitive decks. And then I have jank decks, and my jank decks are
I
like,
only have jank.
let's not win the correct way. Let's win a different way.
Yep.
Or I have another one
A lot of
where
theme decks or whatever.
It's a 5-color big creature deck where I just picked some of the largest creatures in Magic's existence across all the colors.
Yeah.
And then I have an Elvish Piper, which.
Oh my god! Yeah, classic. I mean, it's been around since
tap,
Urza's.
Put a creature into play.
Yeah.
So it's
an old
not
card.
even about playing these creatures. It's just about putting them onto the
Get
battlefield
this
on
shit.
like turn 3.
Get this shit. All right. During Urza's block, during that era of Magic, Elvish Piper was fucking worthless because it's a terrible rare. And it wasn't until recently with Commander it would become valuable. You know? Commander is what boosted that price up and made people realize.
In my deck.
And made people realize how good it was. And I was like, we've been playing that shit forever.
It's
forever.
so good. I've always used it.
There's an artifact for the same thing for 4 mana.
Nice.
Can't remember what it's called.
I also have 4 Birds of Paradise in this deck in case they do need a hard cast.
Damn.
One game. Shit you not. Turn 2, I had all 4 Birds of Paradise on the battlefield.
God.
And he was just like, I hate this deck so much. And I'm like, this it's not supposed to work like this. I'm sorry.
I mean, at one point I had a green-white equipment deck. And I did, and I had a Birds of Paradise and put like a fucking Sword of Caldra on it and was swinging for 5-6 flying first strike trample.
I remember
indestructible once I got the fucking armor on it. Or the helmet.
When I was a kid, I would have Birds of Paradise because I only had 1 or 2 at the time. And like early game, I would try to use it to get like Thorn Elemental out. But late game, I would slap like a Branchwood armor or whatever that gives it +1/+1 for every forest you have in play.
3 mana, 2 colorless, enchant creature.
I would just over the people with my flying Birds of Paradise and just destroy people.
Oh, excuse me. Not an enchant creature. Enchantment dash aura. They changed that. I forgot. Now it just says enchant creature in the text. It used to say enchant creature as a type, so.
Yep. It also used to say summon.
And it also used to say... What was the other one? There was instant, and I always forget the other one.
Interrupt.
Thank you, interrupt. Yeah, which is just an
instant. Interrupts could only interrupt other interrupts and
because they were
everything else.
Because they were faster than instants. Yeah, they should have kept interrupts.
Were they slower than mana sources?
Yes, mana sources you can never disrupt. They were
like Dark Ritual. Like you could cast Dark Ritual, and that couldn't be.
No, that was an interrupt or a sorcery until later. It became a mana source card in, I want to say, Stronghold. When they came out the card type of mana source.
I have some that says mana source as its type. And I'm
and that's like Stronghold, the little gate symbol or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was and then now it's just a sorcery.
My first pack of Magic cards was from Stronghold.
My first was Revised.
You have been playing a long time?
Yeah. I didn't play until high school. I didn't know how to play until high school, so... I was just collecting them for the pictures. Me and my friends made pretend rules that were not in like Marvel's Versus, which is kind of funny.
We sometimes that's how I feel when we're playing Digimon together, me and my friend. Because we know the rules, but there's still like weird card interactions. So we're just like
make some shit up.
Yeah, we're just like, well, we think it works this way. Well, with Magic, I'm like, nah, listen, this is how this works. Like, I'm more.
Well, there's definitely rulings. Yeah, there's a specific way to read the card, and you can parse it, and most of the time you can figure it out.
Yeah. Also, have you seen the new Sorin card?
He's hot as fuck. What the hell?
He's hot as fuck. Like normally, I'm like.
Speaking
of which, I need to get some Birds of Paradise.
I keep forgetting.
Second, I'm not that excited just about guys in general, but I saw Sorin and I was like, "Oh, you can bite me."
I would say 1 in 50 men are attractive.
Yeah,
maybe
I would say
less.
Even less for me.
Yeah, maybe even less. You're probably right. It's more like 1 in 1,000. But like
the only real world guy that I find attractive is probably like Tom Hiddleston.
I don't find him attractive. I just want to be his good friend. I want to hang out with him. He seems like he'd be really fun to hang out with.
Yeah, he probably would be. You know who I don't find attractive? Like I like some people. I'm like, I can see how they're attractive.
Right.
But I cannot, for the life of me, figure out why Benedict Cumberbatch is considered attractive.
I couldn't tell you. I mean, I like him as an actor. I think he's good, but I don't find him attractive.
I don't even like him as
I don't think he's unattractive. I don't think he's unattractive. I'm just not attracted to him, I should say.
Yes. I think he just looked like an average dude, but
And all his
I mean,
characters are
that's
like
just me.
arrogant, which is like makes me feel like maybe he's arrogant, right? Like,
Yes,
it's
that's what I
probably not
feel
true. He's
like.
probably
So I
just
don't like
typecast.
him because of
He's
that.
probably typecast, but it's
He
just
probably is.
I bet.
But that
Watch, he's
also
like actually
means
like a really sweet guy. He just likes
he
playing.
probably is a really
There are
sweet
a few
guy.
guys I can't remember who they are. There's a few guys who like I like playing bad guys because I can be a shithead. I'm never a shithead in
Yes,
my
I've
real
heard
life.
that. I
But he's
also
like,
feel like
I'm not a shithead in my real life, so it's like nice to pretend to be one occasionally. Yeah.
I also feel like Danny DeVito is a really interesting case because like he always plays like really
You know
crass
he's
character,
he's a
but he's
huge
super
lover of
sweet.
horror.
Oh,
Like
is he really?
huge horror fan.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just know that like during like while filming Matilda, like he helped out
Jesus.
Matilda like a lot because like her parents I think were going through something. So like she was on set a lot by herself and he was just like, "Yeah, dude, I got you." Like
That's wow. That's wild.
and I just it was really sweet. So which is totally different than his character in uh the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I really like Danny DeVito as an actor. I think he's pretty good.
My D&D character, his voice is a bit Brooklyn and like Boston and Beetlejuice and Danny DeVito kind of all rolled into one, and it's so fantastic.
Nice fucking model.
Hey, I can do a name's Carrot Knox.
Oh lord.
Welcome to the Misty Fowl.
I have a vampire character called Paulie.
Polly?
Yeah, and he is a surfer guy, vaguely inspired by Pauly Shore. So I've always wanted to play him. He's a Bruja. He's a big weirdo.
Is the new game out?
Vampire? I don't know. Probably. I know the battle royale one is.
There's a battle royale Vampire the
Called,
Masquerade.
it's called Vampire Blood Hunt.
Oh,
It's free to play,
that.
I think.
Interesting.
Maybe it's not free to play. Don't quote
I'm
me.
gonna look it up.
Vampire.
Blood Hunt.
Vampire would be with a Y. In case you're curious.
The PS5 game? No, it's on Steam. Let's go.
Yeah, it's on Steam. Yeah, it's on all platforms. I think it's also on Epic. Not sure about that though.
Epic.
But yeah,
Oh, it is free to play.
Bloodlines got pushed back. Oh, I think it got canceled actually. Maybe. I think it got canceled.
Bloodlines got canceled?
I thought so. Maybe it just got pushed back. But like, yeah, I mean, for a long fucking time, probably over a decade, wanted them to do a World of Darkness MMO. And I don't see why they couldn't.
I thought there was a World of Darkness MMO.
No.
Is World of Darkness the overall world that Vampires is set in?
Yes, yeah. And they
thinking
planned.
something
There was an
different.
announcement for one like 6 years ago, and it never happened. And I just really think that would be so cool. Cause then you could like have like cities with princes, and I mean like you could literally take. I mean I'm looking at like I watched like hours of GTA 5 roleplay, cause on a server called NoPixel, and you can easily do a similar concept of what this game is. People own businesses. People go to the game, they start opening a business, they talk to the devs give them a business inside the game, and you can start walking into businesses and get like it's crazy. It's awesome. Excuse me, I'm trying not to say crazy so much. It's pretty wild, and like there's no reason.
I've been trying to get better about that too.
And there's no reason why they can't do that with World of Darkness. And it doesn't have to use that engine. But I'm saying, look what they can do when it's just 3 dudes from Russia or whatever. And a guy from Australia, excuse me. Coil's from Australia. And I guess, I mean, also, like, there's GTA Y's guy who does the cars. And then there's, what is the other guy? There's a couple dudes who do couple people who do interior designs for that site, for that game.
Oh, nice.
Because at this point, the map is very different from the default map in Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, the basic layout's still there, but they changed buildings and signs and all this other stuff. But that's such a vibrant world that they live in. Like, I don't know why you can't just do that with World of Darkness. Make it work.
Yeah, I don't know.
Vampires hunt at night, have a day-night cycle. Every like 8 hours or 5 hours something.
Just like the new Magic sets.
Sure. Oh, do they have day-night cycle? That's cool.
Yeah.
And they just keep
They
layering
do.
on the difficulty of different rules and game mechanics in that game, don't
Yeah,
they?
yeah. The set coming out is Crimson Vow, but Midnight Hunt was the one before, and the day can turn to night and vice versa. And like
Ah.
if it becomes nighttime, for instance, all your werewolves like become their werewolf side and stop being the human side,
Automatically
and
free
just
flip. That's cool.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's a neat little mechanic.
So like old werewolves will flip with that can't mechanic also.
No, they need to have the daybreak mechanic,
Gotcha. Okay,
which I think all the wolves do in this one.
I was like, oh, so you just have like the double-sided, and they're called a werewolf. You can flip them because that's what the rule should be. If their creature type is werewolf, and you can flip them, you should be
Yes.
able to flip them with this mechanic, this day-night mechanic.
But as
But
far as I know, I could be wrong
it's
about
okay.
that, but I don't think that's how that works.
You're probably right. They probably won't do that.
But also it's more or less the same, because in order to trigger the day night mechanic, you have to either play no spells on your turn or play 2 or more spells, just like transforming.
Right.
The difference is that like if it's nighttime and you play a werewolf, it comes into play as a werewolf, not
Flip.
on a
So
human
you just
side,
flip it
which is
off.
different than
Okay.
how it used to be.
Interesting. Does it count as being flipped? Because it come in another way and flip over immediately?
As far as I know, no. Like you pay
Okay.
it like it's on its front, but when it comes into play, I believe it comes into play on its back.
Wild. So it doesn't trigger its flip over, which could
Correct.
kill a lot of.
If it has anything like that, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
do not believe it triggers that.
Yeah, well. I mean, I haven't gotten any cards for like 2 years now. Year and a half now. I really want Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, but I just can't afford any at
I get
present.
that.
I'll get some singles in the future and pay out the nose, whatever. Because there's like
Probably won't.
every set, there's like 2 to 3 cards that I want to consider for my draft queues minimum. And in Forgotten Realms, there were like 10, 15, 20 of the preview cards, just the preview ones. And I know there's like, I haven't even looked at the set. There's like 100 more cards and like that.
Yeah, no, it's a fun set. I really enjoy it. The 2 sets that I'm really looking forward to next year, there's Kamigawa. I'm very excited to go back there.
Oh yeah.
And it's gonna be like cyberpunk-ish, and I'm excited to see what they can do with a magical cyberpunk. And then they're doing like Angels and Demons mobsters, and I'm very excited to see how that goes.
Oh boy. Modern sets set in the modern world, even with like fantasy things, feel like it's toeing the line a little bit.
I don't think they're gonna have Tommy guns or anything like that. Like I think if they just dress like mobsters, maybe they'll have Tommy guns. We'll see.
I mean, I bet you. Like, it's clear to me that they're trying to like expand what can be played in Magic, which is fine. But I just, and I mean, to an extent, technology of a sufficient high value would seem like Magic to the lower ones. So you can literally
Yes.
turn a lot of spells into like things like an explosive grenade, and it does something. You know, like it makes sense. It's easy to do.
There's a new mechanic, and I know the last like 10 minutes of this has turned into Magic, but
Which we're
whatever.
fucking nerds. It's allowed.
The mechanic that I hate that's in the coming up set is called Cleave.
Ooh,
And
I like
what
the
it will-
word here. I like the. What does it do? I like cleaving D&D. So
If you pay the Cleave cost, there is normally a word or a series of words in brackets in the text. You ignore those words.
okay.
So, for instance, the
it'd
one
be a
that they
drawback
said-
in a sense.
Yeah, so like you could pay like 1 and a green, and it will say search your library for a basic land, and basic land will be in basic will be in
Brackets.
quotes
Yeah.
brackets, and put that card in onto the battlefield.
Okay.
While if you pay the
Cleave cost.
cost, you don't have to read the basic. You just search your library for a land and put it onto the battlefield.
Ah. See, that's actually
So,
really
like,
neat.
It's a weird
That
kicker
don't know if
variant,
that.
and I'm like,
I don't
it's
think
more-
that should have been cleave though, because that cleave sounds like something I should do to a bunch of goblins.
Yes, but no, it's like they're cleaving words off of the card, and the flavor does not match up for me.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right.
I don't like the keyword that they chose, and I just don't like the execution of it. Maybe there'll be better examples, but like just based on their little preview that they did today, which today was the first day that they were previewing anything. I was not.
Yeah, I saw you retweet Soren. I was like, oh, he's pretty handsome. Ain't gonna lie.
He is. Here's the thing. I also like his normal art better than all the variants that he has in this set.
That's how it is sometimes. You just like I
But
like certain kinds of art, certain
variant-
versions of the art. Sometimes it's the fancy one, when it's not.
the super secret variants in this one are all based on Dracula. So like you can get like Count Dracula.
I want that.
And just a reskin of Soren's card.
I want that.
And you can get like Van Helsing and
I
kind of
want
all
the.
of them.
I want Dracula. Dracula's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Like my thing about my Magic cards is I play with a lot of newbies, so I tend to not get ones that are convoluted. So like when those masterpiece things from Amonkhet came out and they were all Egyptian,
Those are hard to read.
I sold that because I couldn't put it in my cube. I'd love to put like one of the other ones in, but the Egyptian one's too hard to read. It's just it's a fucking mess.
They are very hard to read.
But like the fairy tale ones are really cool. The ones for Zendikar were really neat. But like there was lots of great ones, and that was the one I didn't like. Anyway, I gotta go. I smell burning. So.
Okay, well then, goodbye. Thank
Bye,
you for letting
friends.
me troll you all evening. I really
Oh,
do
you know,
appreciate
it's how it goes. Maybe we'll play a game next week. We'll see. I'm starting to feel a little better. So.
that. Sounds good.
All right. Take it easy, everybody.
Until next time, y'all. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I love you.
Penis.